Right, welcome to the next edition of the Bootcamp Raw podcast, where I have a unusually young guest with me. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Emet. I come from Israel. I am 16 years old.
No, you're not.
I'm 14 years old, and I have just finished my 7th week of bootcamp.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And do you want to say who you've come with?
So I've come here with my mother, and that's it. just my mom.
You and your mum from Israel.
Yeah.
All the way to a rural boot camp in Shropshire.
Yeah. I don't know why I'd spend so much time traveling just to absolutely hurt myself, but
yeah,
I did.
Well, and you've almost completed it.
Yeah, I have one more week to go. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But I am coming back, and now it's official because, I'm gonna show my mom this, and she's gonna.
It's got to happen now, hasn't it?
Listen, everyone knows it, so I have to come back, don't I?
You've manifested it.
Exactly.
And you're bringing your brother, right?
Yeah, I'm bringing my brother. So he's 21. Okay, no mind.
Are you lying about ages again?
No. He's 21. He just acts like he's 6.
Okay, so you're the more mature one out of the two.
Yeah. I'm more responsible than him, which is funny.
Okay.
But
that is a worry if you're saying that, and I know you quite well now.
Yeah. Yeah, don't trust me with anything, but definitely don't trust him with anything.
Right. Well, I look forward to putting your brother through some pain, some of what you've experienced, and your mother as well.
Yeah.
So talk me through the process of booking camp. Why did you come? What was the motivations? Were you here to support your mum or vice versa?
So me and my mom have very different interests in things. She's a bit more naturey, I just like socializing, and I like pushing myself in general. I've done gym training, I've worked out, and I play basketball at the time, like before I even knew about this place, right? But so we were trying to find something to do this summer. It was going to be like our comeback summer because last one was pretty bad because of COVID, etc. And we just had no clue, right? It was like, oh, we could go somewhere, kayak, stuff like that, right? But I just wasn't that interested, especially for like an entire summer. It just didn't seem that fun for me. So she just started searching. I don't know. She does her Google things. She doesn't really tell me about it until she really finds something. She's like, hey, so listen, I had this idea.
Yeah.
That's basically how she came to me, right? So she was like, all right, so there's this weight loss camp, or she found a couple, right? And I was with her to just look through them, right? See if I was interested. It was interesting actually to find that this one was for all ages. That's usually, and also the fact was that most of them were not really to actually lose weight. It was like to keep either somewhat get back to the healthy or like just keep being healthy. They were never really made for like losing an excessive amount of weight, like for people, and we saw the staff like just on the website, and we liked it. We also liked how brutal it was. Well, not fully brutal, but you can see how like hard it was. We originally looked at Classic Camp.
Okay.
We saw that you wake up, train, and then eat breakfast. And obviously I just don't like waking up that early, but my mom obviously hated it because she doesn't get her coffee first thing.
Okay.
She just won't work without coffee. But we saw Conquer Foods, and it said like, oh, it just teaches you about, nutrition, and you get to learn how to cook your own meals, and you get to know what's healthy and not. Motivation too. We just seemed to be really interested in that. And the original plan was really to do this for 6 weeks.
Okay.
But I was really invested in it. And so I just decided, why not do 8 weeks, even though I'm not paying for it. So it's much easier for me to say that, she's like, 8 weeks.
Definitely costs more than your average pocket money for a 14-year-old.
Exactly. She stole all my lunch money. But because we actually booked it so early, we got discounts anyways, because we booked it like half a year, maybe more before this summer. So it was much better for us. This was actually my birthday. This was my birthday present.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a present, though. I mean, right? It's all like...
I'm okay. Well, I paid, or they paid for...
Here comes Craig with the coffee.
Oh, yes.
As promised. Joe is going to be screwing when she watches this.
Hate me so much.
Yeah.
Right. I just realized I said da-da-da that much. Like every time I try to say etc. or something, I just say, yeah, so we look at this. Da, da, da.
That works.
I mean, yeah, it's a great word. Also, I was wondering if I could like curse, because I usually call my brother a bitch.
Right, yeah, that
He is
works. Yeah.
But it's really hard not to call him a bitch.
So you're saying your brother is a bitch?
Oh, 100%.
Right.
There is nothing else but him just being a bitch. I want him to add this in, by the way, because I'm showing this to my brother. There's no way he's not watching this.
So when your brother comes, am I going to experience that?
So, yes, yeah. He doesn't actually complain that much. He usually just gets through with it. He's basically like me, right? He doesn't really, if he's hurt or whatever, if it's not in his way for, like, if he knows he can get through any sort of pain or whatever, he usually just does it. He's a big fuck it guy.
Right, okay.
You know, what was his name? You know, the Nike, the just do it, right?
Yeah.
Me and my brother go, like, we live by that, basically. I mean, first of all, we have no choice. You know, if you're going to make me do 30 burpees, I hate you, but I'm still going to do it. You know, my brother's the same way. Like so next summer, right? If I see him, you know, really, really pushing himself, right? Let's say we're on Hoshit Hill or something and he's really pushing himself. That will boost my motivation so much, right? I'll just be like, damn, fine, I'll do it. You know?
Well, you're going to be super competitive with him, aren't you?
Yeah,
100%. So
100%.
you're going to push yourself.
I'm not just going to be like, yeah, I'm doing this. It's like, I'm doing more than him, because there's no way in hell I'd let him beat me. In weights, it's fine. I mean, he's 21, right? You might say excuses, but it's just a fact.
Right.
My voice is cracking.
What was just thinking about yourself, what did you want to get out of your journey here? Was it weight loss, strength, a bit of both, or did you just come along for the ride and not know what to expect? I came here
for fun. Like, I didn't, like, obviously, so I've been I'm not huge, right? But like, well, obviously not now. I've lost a lot of weight. But, I mean, I came in here looking pretty chunky, you know, definitely an above average kid.
What was your weight when you arrived?
I came here at 88 kilos. I remember I used to be 90 though. So I used to be 90, but I did work out a bunch. So I came down here at 88 and now I'm 78 kilos. I'm going to weigh in. So maybe less, probably less, which is just absolutely crazy. I've never been 78 kilos since I can't even remember. It's just years, right? And it genuinely took me a time to process before I came here, and I'm going to lose a good chunk of weight. I wasn't thinking I was like going to come out here shredded, right? But it's more like, like I have history with this fat, you know what I mean? I've literally kept it with me since elementary school. I mean, since elementary, I was that fat kid, right? I couldn't run as much. I couldn't jump as high. I had very low stamina. And knowing that I was going to be able to somewhat, or I mean, now I've exceeded all of my expectations of my abilities, but knowing that I was going to be able to actually do these things like a normal teenager or a normal kid, right? Like I'm actually going to be able to chase my friends, you know, like it's so simple, but it was a genuine challenge for me. And that really did hurt me.
Because when you came, you did look like an overweight kid.
Yeah.
You know, you had that look about you,
exactly.
And now you just look like a strong, actually really in good shape.
Thank you.
Young man. So I think it's going to set you up for life if you keep going, you know, because if you know it can spiral out of control and you can just start getting bigger and bigger and it becomes more of a challenge. So for you to nip it in the bud at the age you have done and create these habits, it's going to serve you no end, isn't it?
Yeah. Having this, like this knowledge, right? Because I mean, I feel like I've always been somewhat of a more wise kid, right? Like I knew a lot about life at a young age. This might sound weird, but like having a knowledge in just health in general, right? And how somewhat basic it is, to be fair. Like you really, it's not as hardcore as people think. You don't have to keep by this diet every week or prep meals. I mean, you can if you want to. If that makes your life easier, sure, do it, because that does work. But it's really so much simpler than you think, because the idea of the amount of work you have to do to be healthy is so fake, and it demotivates people by a lot, right? Because they're like, oh yeah, but if I want to be healthy, I have to eat salads all the time, and basically that's what the first thing that comes to the mind is eat salad all the time, right? What do they have for breakfast? Salad, you know? I can't have my chocolate bar or anything like that. If I watch a movie, I'm coming in with nothing. Like, no. You know, you can experience good foods every once in a while.
You can definitely overcomplicate it and go hungry as well, and you realise that since here that you don't need to go hungry. You know, a lot of the time you are satiated, even though you're training shed loads. You know,
right? But
one thing I want to talk about is the strength training and how I feel like you've excelled there specifically. How have you found that, and what have you taken from that?
So we do have a very small gym in my school. I'm in a boarding school, so like it's Sundays and Wednesdays. It's not really that much, but you can, if you know what you're doing, you can get a good workout in, which I usually was. But I wasn't really able to lift that much. Like, I mean, I was able to decently lift things, but let's say in bench press, right? My max was 35, but that was like literally 2 reps. And then I was like, there's no way in hell I'm doing more. And I couldn't even squat at all. Like, I think I was able to squat 25, but everything was just wrong. And I didn't even know it. I just had no knowledge in these things, right? Like I knew the basics of working out and I knew chest, but, not, you know, and I came here and, there's definitely a lot of support here, and there's a lot of motivation and just positivity in general. And like, it might sound bad, but coming in here, right, and I do see all these, it sounds terrible, all these way bigger people, it does give me a confidence boost, which again might sound bad, but it's true, right? You come in here, you think you're really, really fat, but then you see people like 3 times your size, which makes sense, right? That's what you're here for. Everyone's here for the same goal.
Sure.
But that makes you think like, you know what? But also that's motivational. The fact that you are pushing yourself, and I mean, I came in here at 88 kilos, which is a lot, but I see people that are like,
could have been double that.
It literally, exactly.
You've come off the wave before it's got
100%,
really high. 100%. But you also have respect for them people coming there with the mobility and the size issues some people have, and they still come and get amazing results. And you know what they're going through, you know, because you've had you've experienced it.
Right. I mean, because like there's so much more reason to why people are overweight, right? Because some people might think, oh, they're lazy, they don't have their life together, whatever. But there's like, mental illness or mental anything, right? It really affects your physical being, right? Like I've been to that point where I just had no motivation to get out of bed. Brushing my teeth was work, right? Not because of how heavy I was, because I just was so down, right? So just the thought of going to a gym was just absolutely
it's just
not even
there, is it? And often people find solace in just food.
You
know, and the fridge becomes the best friend, doesn't it, for a lot of people? And it's easily done. We see it all the time.
Yeah, and therefore, like if I see someone super duper big in the street, let's say, I recognize the fact, like, damn, he's big, but I never think badly of that person because he could have been through something terrible or whatever, or he just can't handle many things in life. I mean, it's quite complicated living life sometimes. So, I mean, I guess the basic is just don't judge people, especially if you're in Conquer Foods.
There is no judgment at Bootcamp, is there? You know, you see all sorts of people there from all over the world, different religions, different cultures, and everyone just comes together and it works. You know, and I repeatedly talk about that on this podcast and to everyone that.
It's beautiful.
No one cares.
Honestly, nobody cares. But also, I gained so much. Like the stories, there's, like I said, there was many reasons on why people go overweight, right? And here you get to experience all of that. But like, if you come here, it doesn't matter for a week. If you listen to at least 3-5 people, especially from Conquer Foods, on how they got to that weight or whatever, you really just get more of an understanding on how hard it can be or whatever. I mean, I never got that heavy, but I was pretty heavy, and I was definitely like mentally really down.
Well, imagine the path you were on, and another 10 years down the line, if you hadn't have done something about it. You know, I'm not saying you would have carried on gaining weight, but potentially, you know, you could have been 20 stone, 22 stone,
right?
And
it happens so quickly. You don't notice it until you're really there, and until someone spots it out, then you're like, whoa, I just realized I'm in extra large shirt. You know, I wore large male shirts at the age of 9, 10.
Really?
Yeah. And that, like, knowing that hurt me, knowing the fact that I was, because in school, right, let's say there's an event or something and they're passing out shirts and they would ask me what my shirt size is, and I would ask for a large. They'd give me a large, but that was super tight on me too because I was like a men's large. You know, it just hurt me a lot. But back on the topic of weights, here I've exceeded all of my strength, right? Like, I mean, I'm able to squat 60 kilos now. Not even just one rep. I can do 5 sets of 560. It's not easy, of course, but that's the whole point of it. I can deadlift 55. First of all, I can deadlift properly.
With good form.
Thank you. Yeah.
And your squats are deep as well.
Yeah,
You've got good depth of technique.
I take pride in that, you know.
Nice to see.
Yeah, and I can still bench 35, right? It's pretty hard to upgrade your bench. But point being is I literally came in here thinking I was only able to squat 25. And I did try deadlift once before and I was only able to do 20 kilos. Now I multiply that by like 3 or whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
And I realized that most of it was in my head. Most of it, because and even before I came here, I saw myself as a pretty confident person. Pretty sure everyone did too. I'm assuming. But I guess realizing how much I was holding myself back physically.
Yeah.
Because of how many times I got absolutely shot on, right? Like, no one would try to race me in a run. Why? Because I'm fat, because like I have no stamina. And it was true, but even no matter how much better I get, I still have that in my head where I'm like, oh yeah, but he can probably jump higher than me. I bet he's way better at basketball. I bet he lifts way more weights, right? But you never know until you do it, do you? No. You know, I came here and because there was no judgment, no expectations, or, you know, and there was people going through harder times than me. I was like, you know what, fuck it. You know, I was like, it's simple, right? I put on the amount of weight I wanted on my deadlift. I saw, you know what, that was really easy, wasn't it? And I already just by that, I just passed my maximum weight at school. Yeah. It's like, you know what, we'll add more. Boom, I did. It was so simple. Just because I was holding myself back in my head, but it felt very real. It felt like I genuinely couldn't do it.
Strength, I think, has been a great thing for you. Have you noticed a change in the way your body feels as well? I've noticed that you started to get a bit of muscle.
I just gained overall way more muscle, more definition in general. I just looked in the mirror one day. I think it was on my second week. It was that quick. I'm on my second week, and I just have a collarbone. Look at that. And because I have a collarbone, that also means I had more muscle definition because I was able to see actually how big my traps were.
Right.
I'm quite proud of those traps too.
He's good at picking himself up, Emet, guys, as you might notice. He loves it. Nothing wrong with being confident. Yeah. If you're not confident at your age, you never will be.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think you excel at, I think it's because you've done a little bit before, is the Muay Thai, the boxing.
Right.
We've done quite a bit of boxing today, and yeah, you've got that pinned down. Obviously, you've done a bit of Krav Maga, which is standard for Israelis to do, right?
No, it's not. It's not standard. Well, I mean, you're forced to go to I don't know how it works anymore. You kind of have to go to the military, and in military basic training, you learn basic Krav Maga. But I was learning like full Krav Maga, so it wasn't basic. It was just all of it, right? It's quite a new martial art compared to all the others. I mean, the makers of Krav Maga are still alive, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But anyways, there was one across the road from me, and I had nothing to do with my life. So I just decided, sure, I'll go to the Krav Maga, because at a young age, when I was too young to go there, I kept watching the people just train, and I always wanted to be there. But when I was finally at that proper age, I was like, sure, I'll go there. And I used to be so excited for it. I wouldn't even put my shoes on. I would just run down the street, barefooted. And my trainer hated that. My trainer was his name was Igal. I love him to death because he taught me many lessons. I mean, and he's like really short, but he's just he's just a boulder, right?
Yeah.
And they definitely did illegal shit there. Because discipline was a big thing. You had to bow to the mat when you enter and leave, right?
Yeah.
But before you even did any training, you just had exercise. You do front crawl, back crawl on 6, on on 4, 6, zigzag, all these things. We'd learn how to do back crawl, but pretend you had a gun, so only do it with your shoulders, shit like that. Front roll, back roll, stop yourself from if you get impact, right? You just slam the floor basically, so you don't hit your head on the floor in case someone shoves you or whatever.
Right.
And I was quite angry as a kid. I had a lot of problems, and I had no one or nothing to put that energy and anger to. Right. I got bullied, just shit situation at home, and being way younger, there's really nothing you can do with it.
Right.
So Krav Maga was my way on just absolutely unleashing my anger, and it was honestly just therapy.
So it gave you that discipline as well.
Yes, yes. And
I'd assume that experience, the experience here, has also added to that sort of discipline and that routine.
Yeah. It just brought me back to it. It just reminded me a lot of how tough Krav Maga was.
Yeah.
And
but I have to say, at your age, when I found out there was a 14-year-old coming with his mum to camp, you obviously have, in your head, you're thinking, oh, they're going to be into it, they're going to get bored. But you have been amazing for a 14-year-old. I know. I was like, there's no way I could have done this at your age. And I've said that to you multiple times, and I imagine a lot of people have. It bodes well for you, the fact that you can apply yourself like this at this age. So I really hope that you do take that lesson through into your life as you move forward.
The things I'm going to be doing out of here is going to be absolutely crazy, right? I have this whole new motivation and just thought process in me that I'm going to be able to use.
How have you found the Conquer Food program itself, with like the sessions with Smudge and the one-to-ones? Do you struggle? I imagine you struggle to pay attention when you have to sit down and listen, because you're more of a doer, aren't you, than a listener?
Yeah. I do find it hard sitting down in one place for more than like an hour. Even Smudge, I absolutely love him to death. I love him so much, but it doesn't matter what it is. It's just sitting down for an hour and it kills me.
What happened to your yo-yo, by the way? Have you still got it? Because I know you got this thing about a yo-yo when you came, which was like a little bit of a to keep your focus. Is that gone?
Yeah. I still have it in my room.
Are you banned from using it or what?
No. The string. I forgot to bring more strings, so the string on my yo-yos is broken.
Oh, have you worn it out?
Yeah. And like I need specific string. But it's okay.
Do you feel the urge to play with the yo-yo as much?
I've been thinking about it for the past week. I was like, I really need to bring the yo-yo back. Nobody knows me as the yo-yo kid anymore. Okay, right.
Oh, God.
But no, so yeah. The lessons Smudge teach, though, is not even just on one-on-one, like CF group and stuff, learning it at my age especially is it just helps you a lot through life, motivation, anything, right? I mean, he just teaches you basically how to enjoy things more, and how to. I gotta be really careful with this in case he's watching.
Go on, you will watch.
And just how to appreciate things and appreciate yourself and understand how capable you are as a being.
Yeah.
No matter what your weight is, most of the things you do is all just battling your head. And you don't even have to go through CF group to know this, right? I mean, bootcamp in general, eventually you're going to have to be battling your head. And that's when you realize what you really are fighting is just your head. Because once you have peace with your mind, you're really just capable on doing anything, to an extent, of course.
Yeah. I don't know if you can talk for your mum, but how do you think she's found the process and being with her son at your age? I mean, is it bonded you together? Because you've suffered together so much over the last 8 weeks, and we know that suffering brings people together as a group. And
we're quite close.
You were close prior to coming, obviously. You wouldn't come to a boot camp for 6 weeks together, would you? Now 8.
8 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, do you feel like you're closer now? Or?
So, I mean, I don't know about closer. I mean, we're quite I don't think you can get any closer.
Yeah.
But I mean, in a way, yeah, actually we probably did, because we've figured out more activities that we enjoy doing together, and that's basically just training.
Yeah. She's a machine, isn't she, your mother?
Absolutely amazing.
She's such a calm Zen human.
But the moment she has to, she will just, she will power through anything. She does.
Yeah.
She can put her mind to anything and she'll do it.
I've never seen her not like smiling. I try to wind her up, try to break her, try to push her buttons, and she just laughs at me.
Nah. If she
just a sound human.
Yeah, she hates the fact that she can't do something right.
Yeah.
Like her head exploded.
Yeah.
And for the time, especially like in the earlier stages of the more recent times, what am I talking about? When it was hurting more, I had to literally make her sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
I was like, Mom, I get it. And yes, we are here for pushing ourselves and losing weight, but right now we don't want you to die.
Yeah, she doesn't like missing out on things, does she? But I mean, she has smashed today, for example. She's been a machine, hasn't she?
Like to be fair, when I'm training, I'm quite focused on myself or my team, right? She wasn't on either. But like, I mean, I just catch glimpses. First of all, she's always smiling, which I love. And she might not know this, but it's so simple it's easy to motivate people when you're just smiling, right?
Sure.
If you're at the bridge of puking, but you're smiling, that's motivation. It's like,
She's just a positive human, isn't she?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I'll miss her. We'll miss you both.
Well, we're coming back.
So yeah, I look forward to welcoming you back.
It's official, Mom. You can't do anything about that anymore.
Right, some quick fire questions at you now before we wrap it up. Favorite session?
Either boxing or strength and conditioning. I do love spin though.
Okay. Everyone says that. Always.
Because you feel so good afterwards.
Yeah, it's a right high.
I really hate you while I'm doing it.
I know. I hate myself when I'm doing it.
But the moment you're done with it, you're just like...
It's a real buzz, isn't it? Yeah. There's a thing called runner's high. They definitely need to make a terminology, spinner's high.
Definitely.
Worst session, least favourable or least enjoyable?
Probably spin.
Least enjoyable at the time.
Damn. Probably green PT.
Yeah.
Like, I find it fun, but I just hate Tabata and I hate circuits.
Okay, cool. How do you enjoy the walks?
Yeah, well, I get quite bored. I'm a doer.
Yeah.
And walk isn't that much of a do. Yeah. But luckily, Emily and Charlotte are good at finding fun stuff to do in the walks.
Yeah. Emily and Charlotte are awesome, aren't they?
They're really awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
I find it crazy how, I mean, all of the trainers, right, and like activity coordinators, even Smudge, literally everyone is able to just come up with different things to do.
Yeah. You take so much from the trainers because we all have a different approach and that allows you guys to get a different experience.
Yeah.
Something we talk about on here is if we were all the same, it would get tedious, and a change is as good as a rest, right?
Yeah.
We all have different facets of how we train and deliver, which keeps it varied for you guys. Reg is like Grumpy Santa.
Yeah.
Miles is the young, I love it. Bodybuilder. Yeah. Really cool and chilled out.
Although he also had a transformation, like he did a lot of weight loss.
Yeah, he did.
Motivates most of the group too, because like, damn, he.
You can relate to that, can't you? Exactly. More than anything.
Because he was also doing it while in high school.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can't believe how young he is, can you?
No.
He's like twice the size of me, and he's 22. 22 years old. Yeah.
He's almost the age of my brother. Oh my God.
Yeah, crazy. What are you most looking forward to when you get back to Israel?
Hummus.
I knew you were going to say that. That's why I asked.
The food, probably.
Proper hummus.
And just my friends.
Well, I can't wait to welcome you back, Emet, and I wish you have good results tomorrow. I'm sure you'll have good results tomorrow. And you've got one more week left after this one, yeah?
And then I'm gone forever. Never going to see me. No, I'm kidding. Like I said, I'm probably going to come back.
Cool. No, not probably.
Probably.
It's already been sealed and dealed at the start.
That's my next birthday present.
And last question, sum up your experience at Bootcamp in 3 words. You can elaborate slightly if you need to.
I would... motivational.
Yeah.
See, there's 2 words in my head, but like life changing, but that's 2 words.
No, okay, we'll take that.
So life changing.
Yeah.
And exciting. It's fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I look forward to welcoming you back. I don't know if I'll ever do a podcast with a younger boot camper.
You can only hope.
Yeah.
Maybe I get younger. You never know.
Actually, last thing, I believe you want to do podcasts. It's your hope to do this, isn't it?
Shit.
Yeah? So maybe one day you'll be, talking to me on your podcast in Israel.
I want to start a podcast with one of my best friends at school. It was going to be called Dorma Story. Dorma Story.
Dorma Story.
Because we're in a dorm, so Dorma Story.
Like it.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be out when I'm back.
Yeah. We'll see. Keep us posted. All right. Emet, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.